All right, there we go. All right, so second time's the charm. Here we go. So I think I'm streaming right now. I don't quite know. I've got it set up on my phone though, just in case questions pop up. So yeah, otherwise, let's dive right in. So I took the liberty of setting some stuff up. Nothing major, just this is a slow computer, so I opened up a couple tracks with a couple different instruments I thought might be helpful for this part of the project. And I also went in and where is it? There it is, Notepad. Entered a couple of the key notes that we came up with in the last two videos. So things like what kind of form we decided we wanted to try and go with for this theme, where the energy levels were going to be for each area of or each part or each section of that theme, and then just stuff like the 9 parameters and how we had decided they were going to be used in both of these themes. So right now we're not going to focus on writing the entire big thing. Our focus in this video is to brainstorm a couple thematic ideas, a couple different directions that we could take each of the themes. Realistically, probably just the adventure theme. So basically today we're just going to sketch the adventure theme. So I've got this here. I'll pull it up to reference it every once in a while to make sure I'm staying on the right track. But let's see. So without further ado, let's dive right in. All right, so rhythm. I like to start everything with rhythm and tempo first. So tempo first, moderate to fast paced. All right, so let's say 120. That's pretty fast. Let's try 100 even, actually, for now. Actually, I'm going to shift this to bars and beats. There we go. And then we said for rhythm, syncopation, rhythmically active, dotted notes, and triplets, odd meter, irregular accents. Awesome. Okay, so that's some great stuff to work with that we came up with. I want to start off with that odd meter. So odd meter is a wonderful little thing. My go-to option for odd meter is 7/8 time. So for those of you who aren't familiar, odd meter is basically a combination of simple meter and compound meter. Where a simple meter, the beat is divided into two subsections. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Whereas in compound meter, it's divided into three subdivisions. So it'd be like 1 tuplet, 2 tuplet, 3 tuplet, 4 tuplet. So odd time is a combination of both. In fact, let's say, I'm going to start with the shakers here. Let's start with two measures here. Open this up and take a look at it. So you will see that there are 7 eighth note slots here. All right. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which means it's already kind of set up for us, but the beats are going to be uneven. All right, not in length. Their length will be the same, but the amount of subdivisions per beat will shift. So we could have 2 in these first, 2 in the first one, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. We could have 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. We could even have 3 in the first, 2, 2, any combination that you want. Now I am going to, let's say for today, let's go 1 and 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So let's try. The way we do this is we are going to accent the downbeats. So let's bring that back up. Did you hear that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, it's a very kind of primal feel to it. The really cool thing, this is why I love odd meter, is you can shift this around. All right, so now let's fill this one up. I want a rhythmic pattern where the downbeats are different within 2 meters. And this was part of the plan here. We had syncopation, rhythm, dot notes, and out of your irregular accents. All right, 1 second. Something is popping up on my other screen. Cubase was trying to send me like a help or whatever. I don't know why. But let's see here. So syncopation, rhythmically active, odd note, triplets, odd meter, irregular accents. So these irregular accents are very common in folk music. All right, in particular in a lot of the Slavic folk music, where I'm going to try and take some inspiration for this theme. All right, so the way we can have some irregular accents right off the bat and have it make sense is to shift what our downbeats are every 2 measures, or 3 measures, or 4 measures, however we wanted to do it. But I'm going to stick with just 2 for now. So we had 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Let's try. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Let's try that. All right. So we'll make the second beat have the 3 subdivisions the second time around. Let's get rid of that. All right, now let's listen to what this sounds like. Ooh, see, I like that. So it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. And if we repeat that, that gives us just a deliciously no, what's the word I'm looking for? It's syncopated for sure, but it's no, what's the word I'm looking for? Like symmetrical, non-symmetrical, or asymmetrical. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Which reminds me, one way to make sure that we are noting where the starts of each measure is, the first downbeat, is to help emphasize those very first downbeats. So we raised those. I'm going to break these down. As a reminder, down here, this is velocity. All this does is it tells the computer how hard to hit each note. All right? Let's listen to this again. All right, a little bit. I feel like I lowered that a bit too much, because we still need that attack there for the other downbeats. All right, let's try that again. Ooh, yeah, I really like that. All right, so that works for me. All right, I like this. It's starting to give me an idea of the rhythmic identity that I want for this piece. And that's going to be very important, because the rhythmic aspect to this piece is going to be very, very key to the whole picture. We talked about this in the previous 2 videos, about how when we did a little bit more look into the background of these characters, we saw that they were lizard folk. We saw that in the lore of D&D, lizard folk are seen as a bit more primitive, a bit more tribal, a little more old school, in which case a huge proponent of music, some of the oldest proponents of music, is rhythm. That's why drums and other percussive instruments are some of the oldest and first instruments found in almost every culture in the earth. That along with flutes, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use flutes, because we did come up with that idea that lizards might not have lips. So lizard folk might not have lips, so that would be an issue. They would not be able to have flutes. But I'm getting sidetracked. The point here is that the rhythm, all right, the rhythmic aspect of this music is going to be very important, so I want to make sure that I find a groove. So the groove, we've got the first tool here. All right, in a groove, there are a few basic components. All right, there is a timekeeper, typically a hi-hat, which focuses on subdivisions of the beat to make sure that you can help keep time. Then there is typically a snare drum type part, which focuses on the backbeat, which is basically the weak beats. All right, and it helps additionally to track time. And then there is the bass drum, which helps also track the beat, but it also gives a bit more of the identity of the piece, and that will actually have a big impact on the bass guitar, or just bass instruments in general. We'll get to that in a little bit. But right here, what we have is basically our hi-hat. All right, I do want to test it on the mini anvil, see how that sounds. All right, that's decent. Let's see how it sounds on both of them at the same time. Okay, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. All right, so next, let's move this conga up here. So I didn't really see a snare drum as fitting in the sound palette. Not yet, at least. We might add one later, but at least for establishing things. I wanted to focus on more of a traditional, an older style drum. All right, which the conga drum fit pretty well. This is the Spitfire percussion library. I love this library. I just need to make sure I've got the right thing. So, all right, so that looks about like middle C there is going to be a good hit for us. I want to make sure that we weren't getting like a roll or a swell or anything, which this library has a lot in. So basically what we're going to do is we want to hit the backbeat. We want to hit the weak beats. So In general, 7/8 time can be broken down as a variation of 3/4 time. There are 3 primary beats, 3 down beats. All right, so the time is kept in eighth notes, but the way we count it is 1, 2, 1, 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is important because when we're thinking about 3/4 time, the weak beats are going to be the 2 and the 3. So I am going to put the 2 and the 3, 2 and the 3. Oops. All right, so let's see if this was middle C. Was it? It was not. All right, let's try the low drum first. Ooh, okay, 1 second. I messed up. There we go. Because remember, the 3 subdivisions are on the second one. All right. Okay, that's working, that's working. Let's try raising it 2 octaves, see how it sounded in the higher one. All right, why not try both? All right, I'm kind of liking this. All right, so the groove is starting to take shape. Remember, this is just a sketch. All right, so the specific instruments I'm using, I might shift later. I might keep them. Whatever I'm doing right now, I'm just trying to get ideas flowing. All right, I'm trying to find out what a good thematic idea would be. All right, so I'm not trying to fine tune things too closely, but I'm thinking that works. Next, let's try the bass drum. Let's make sure. Ah, that's a decent one. All right, which one is that? All right, so that looks like an F. So maybe the F below middle C. Let's try that. Now this one's going to give you even more trouble. It's a little less straightforward. All right. So where the hi-hat typically has a role of playing the subdivisions, it's straight eighth notes, straight 16th notes are the most common uses, are the most basic uses. The snare drum, or in this case conga, typically plays the backbeats. Again, very basic, very typical use. We can get more complicated later if we'd like, but this is fine. The bass drum is typically where the most unique identity of the piece comes. So let's look at what our notes were again. So what were we looking at rhythm here? All right, we said syncopation is important. Rhythmically active, dotted notes and triplets, odd meter, irregular accents. So we've technically got the triplets because the 1, 2, 3 kind of counts as the triplet, at least in feel. We've got the odd meter. We've got the irregular accents. We don't have much use of dotted notes yet. We're pretty rhythmically active with syncopation. So right now, let's see if we can get some dotted notes in. All right, first, we'll do the downbeats. All right, get that going. So first, let's just hear what this sounds like. All right, that's a bit too quiet. Let's see what happens if we raise the velocity. Tell it to hit it harder. A bit better. We can always come back to it later. But let's see. I want to get these all into the picture, so I'm going to highlight them all. I'm going to open the key editor again. There we go. So we got a better idea of what this looks like. So let's try. All right, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to alternate with the conga in this first measure. All right, so boom, downbeat, then the conga comes in the first backbeat, wham, we come in the offbeat of that second beat, and then hit the third beat with it. And second, we do something similar, but because this second beat is longer, I just added 2 hits before we came in again. All right, so I'm just experimenting. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, that sounds decent. My main issue here is this bass drum is just not strong enough. All right, let's try. Let's add another instrument to the case. Oop, it opened up off screen. Let's do this. What kind of drums do we want to go with? Definitely, let's go with the low ones first. Ah, gong drum. Let's see how that sounds. That could be fun. All right. Ah, okay, yeah, that definitely sounds a bit better to me. All right, a bit coming in strong, but ooh. Okay, so that sounds good. So that's a hit. That looks like C2. So E2 looks like I'm going to type this in. Let's take this back. All right, we're going to take that. It was C2. Down we go. Let's listen to it. Okay, okay, but now that it's stronger, I don't care much for that bass line anymore. All right, so let's listen to that again. Let's open these all again. So, all right, so it sounds a bit too active for me. Boom, boom. Let's hear it. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this repetition. You know, let's try, see if we get rid of this one. All right, now I'm just experimenting around. I'm just trying different things I think might sound good. All right, so what if we got rid of the downbeat there? I still don't like that bum, 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 thump, thump. All right, I don't like the quick follow-up of the conga. All right, so let's see. Let's get rid of that. So, boom. So, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2 3, 1 2, 1 2 3, 1 2. So, boom, 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 boom. Let's see how this sounds. So, what if we just basically double the conga here? I wonder how that would work. No, I still don't like that. And the bass drum's super important because the bass drum is going to have a very close relationship to our bass instrument, which so it's going to have a big impact on the identity, all right, of the whole thing. And we'll get more into that later when we start seeing how it interacts with the bass drum. And the guitar once we start writing the bass part, but for now, let's see. You know, let's delete these and try singing along to it. Boom, boom. All right, so what was that? It was like boom. I think I put them there. Boom. Okay, I like that a lot more. For whatever reason, that just fits for me. All right, let's see if we can copy that. Let's go to the back where we were. Put it on the bass drum. All right, so we're getting there. We've got something. I don't know how much I like it, but it's a good starting spot. All right, and who knows, maybe I'll warm up to it a bit lower later. For now, this is where we can get into our bass instrument. So this is a dulcimer right here. All right, so I might have to increase the volume on that. But this is a dulcimer that I sampled myself, so I didn't do any fancy art or anything like that. I'm not the most competent sampler, but I'm working on it. And hopefully if I get really good at it, I can make some videos on it in the future. But so I made this contact instrument because I knew that I wanted a unique identity to this sound, and I wanted to create my own, for lack of a better word, like bass instrument. I wanted to create my own sound palette. So I borrowed a lap dulcimer from my friend, and then promptly broke it. Oh, I felt so bad. The good thing is he was very understanding. He said he never played it. It was one that he got for free. It still works. It's just cracked really badly. Oh, I felt so bad. I still feel bad. But we got this nice little instrument here. And the nice thing is I sampled the whole range, and then I dropped that range and lowered that range. So I dropped it and raised it a bit to get us a more fictional kind of instrument, something that's not quite real and gives us a bit more use out of that range as a bass instrument. Because, and here's what I keep meaning about bass instrument. Let's open these up for a bit. So, the way I was taught writing for bass, because I am by no means a bass player, is that it's very, very closely related to the bass drum. All right. In fact, the bass drum and the bass have basically 3 different types of relationships. The bass guitar or bass instrument playing the bass line can either match the bass drum perfectly for rhythm. It can elaborate on the bass drum rhythm, or it can reduce or like kind of break down the bass drum into its most bare bones instrument kind of resources. So I am going to start out by matching. All right. So what we want to do is the bass will start, for a nice strong start, we want to start with the root of each chord at the chord change. So I'm probably realistically going to do 1 chord per measure. That's a very nice, safe way to think of it. Let's see. Let's look at the notepad here. Let's look at what we had for harmony. Non-functional harmony, tertiary movement implied. All right, so basically we're not looking for staying in any particular key. Now I seem to remember the characters had a certain affinity for eggs. All right, and it just so happens to be that E and G are a third apart, which makes them prime candidates for tertiary harmony. All right, so right now I'm thinking of maybe 2 major chords, E major to G major. It's a minor third that separates them, and 2 major chords separated by a minor third is a very prominent, like heroic type sound. That was, let me see if I can get to the sketch piano here. So, oops. So you might recognize that was it was made very famous in Howard Shore's score for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So that's a possibility. Now, other than the root, the 2 most common notes used in the bass line are the 5th and a flattened 7th. So from E, G to B, that would be, B would be the 5th, G, and it would be D. All right, so that kind of works. You basically start the downbeat with the root of whatever chord you're working with. All right, and then you can use the 5th and flat 7 to kind of voice lead your way into the next chord change. All right, or make it a bit of a less of a jump. So let's see. I can embellish a bit. So no, that sounds a bit too heroic here. But let's listen to what it sounds like on the dulcimer. Okay, so you cannot hear the dulcimer, all right, over the sound. Let's see if there's anything I can do about that. Like I said, it's a new sound library I made just for this, so there are still going to be some kinks we need to work out. Let's see if that works better. All right, so let's see here. Let's also bring these down a little bit. Actually, you know what? We don't need to worry about that. Let's just go to the mix console, and we'll bring up the broken dulcimer a little bit too. And again, I don't even know if I'm going to keep this instrument. We're just using it for sketching right now. No, I don't like that. Do not like that one bit. All right, so it was 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. So let's see. Let's try that. Let's try. That's another thing. It doesn't need to stay up, actually. I really need to switch. There we go. Alright, so the lowest I have it going right now is about the D right here. So it can't go to C, which that might be a problem. You know what? Let's see what it sounds like if I do go lower. Alright, let's say. Let's bring this down if I can. There we go. Let's bring it down to a D. Alright, so yeah, that works. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking that. Alright, so we've got that down to G. Let me make sure I get all groups on this. Where is it? Select groups only. Let's bring this down. So we had it down to G, right? There we go. Then let's bring this last one down because I am loving that low sound. All right, that has some newfound power. All right, if it will let me, there we go. Oh, no. There we go. Ooh, okay. That. All right, gotta be careful because if I go too hard, that almost sounds like an electric guitar. All right, so I'm not looking for an electric guitar sound. Actually, let's close that. But what that does do for us. Okay, why is that shifting pitches? I swear. Maybe I shouldn't have messed with it. Alright, let's see. Select groups all. No, let's see. I see. Which group is it messing with? Group 2 is the guilty culprit. Alright. Let's see. Actually, let's see here. Ah! Why is that? You know what? If it doesn't work, I gotta stop doing that because it goes in the highest velocity. You know what? Let's see here. Is there a way? Where was it? We had it like. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. I'll have to do this off screen because this is a bit of a waste of time right now. Actually, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Delete it. Let's bring it back up and redo it. All right. We'll see here. Bring this down. 'Cause I think what happened is when I shifted that thing, it shifted all the pitches with it instead of just dragging it down. Let's see, down to the G and group 2. That's there. See how it goes? There we go. It's fixed. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Excellent work. All right, here we go. Let's see how this sounds. Let's try going down. Let's try. Oops. All the way back. All right. The joys of working in music, I guess. Let's see here. The more I listen to it, the less I am happy with this rhythmic thing. But we'll see. Let's see. It's almost a bit too low. Let's try this. Alright, one thing I'm not liking. Let's mute the anvils and see how that works. Alright, I like that a bit better now. And once we add some more melodies and whatnot into this, I'm sure it'll sound better. Right now, we're just trying to get a groove, and the important thing is not to get focused or stuck too much on it. And bum, dum. Let's try. Let's try that. Dum dum. Let's try that. Let's go down an octave there. Try the D. Don't like that. Let's try moving that over. I am almost forgetting. It's need to be related to the bass drum, otherwise it's not going to sound very decent. So let's pull up the bass drum. The bass drum, where I bum, 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 bum. Alright, so let's bring this over. Basically, I'm experimenting around, right? This can kind of be like the boring part of composing. I mean, to watch. For me, I'm enjoying myself. I don't know how much you guys are enjoying yourselves, but hopefully it's still useful. It's a lot of trial and error. Basically, I try something, I either A, like it, in which case I keep it, or B, I don't like it, so I keep working on it until I do like it. Let's see how this sounds. Let's get rid of that. Let's see. Ooh, okay, I kind of like that. What was that? Ooh, hit the key a bit too hard that time. Sorry about that. I like that. I like that quite a bit, actually. Let's see. Dulcimer's up. Let's increase the volume a little bit. Oh, it's already increased quite a bit. Let's see. Here, actually, let's see if we mute that bass drum, see how that sounds. All right, so we're onto something now. All right, let's see what happens when we repeat it. All right, because a groove does not need to be complicated. All right, in fact, most grooves, once written, basically just repeat with small variations here and there. The biggest variation for us is going to be in that bass, or the broken dulcimer. So that will provide us just some chances to basically shift harmonically. That's right. All right, let's make sure. No, that's right. Sorry, my bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I was going to say that the rhythm shifts, but it doesn't because we did two measures. Let's see how this looks. Oop, not score. All right. we're on to something. We're on to something. Now I just want to start shifting the... So let's delete that bass drum part. Let's delete the mini anvil part. We'll bring both of those down here since they're not being used at the moment. One more time. All right, so now let's see. Oops, let's see. So we were thinking two major triads, right? So then tertiary harmony, typically you just follow a straight line. So we went from an E major to a G major. So now it'd be a B major. Maybe. We'll see. First, let's try, actually. Let's see if we can come up with a decent chord progression. So it was... So it was E major, G major, then maybe a B minor. So it'd be... So then it'd be the F. So where was that? Is here. No. F is too low for the dulcimer. Sorry, we stopped at G. So B, D, F. So it would be a flat 7. So that would be A flat. Or G sharp in Cubase. So then it was E major, G major, B minor, then D, D minor. Let's try D minor. Yeah, so 2 major triads followed by 2 minor triads. So it would be D, F, A. So we'll say... So it was a full beat, then a full beat rest, and then let's give that a listen to. It's getting too low. It's getting a bit murky. Let's try that. No, I do not like that. So it was B, D, F sharp. So F sharp, we could, if we went up an octave, it would suddenly be in the range. Let's try that. All right. This is, of course, the exasperating part of writing music. All right. No matter how much of a plan you've got, no matter what you've come up with, there's always going to be just a long time of trial and error. I'm trying to speed through it, actually, because I'm live streaming. Normally, I'd take my time. I'd try singing it through a little bit. I'd go for walks. I'd do whatever I'd need to. But I do need to kind of discipline myself. It's good for me. It's good for me because I need to get used to sitting down and just cranking out projects. It's important if you want to be working in film music. But let's see. So one issue I'm having. Let's pull up that bass drum part again. Because, you know what? Let's give the dulcimer its own color. Let's say purple will do. Open this up, highlight both again, and here's a little nifty trick. Instead, up here where it says velocity in Cubase, you can switch to part, and boom, they got different colors now. Alright, so that color difference isn't that strong. Let's pick a different color for the gong drum. Purple and yellow typically work well together. Those have very strong contrasting colors. There we go. So my idea here is, what if we shift the rhythm? Dun dun, almost like a reverse there. Let's see how that sounds. Let's try dropping that. Still don't. Let's see here. All right, so of course this is only a few measures long. Keep in mind that this is just the groove. All right, we haven't even started looking fully into the melody or the harmony. And typically the way I approach different projects is going to be different. If I have a very melodically, harmonically driven piece, I might start with the melody first and then harmonize the melody. If I'm working with a very harmonically driven piece, something where it's a lot about how those chords interact, I might start with the chords first and then write a melody from that. This particular genre of music, where the rhythm is at the core of the identity, is it's tricky for me. This is not the type of music I typically write. I feel like it's the type of music that's best for the project. But at least for me, I'm having to keep reminding myself in my head, look, this is just the rhythm, this is the groove. It's going to sound so much better once we start adding some harmonies and some melodies involved. Nothing too elaborate, of course, but it will sound better because then it's going to have a bit more of a personality, even though the rhythm is giving it plenty of personality. But that's just me ranting for the sake of kind of telling myself that. Let's listen to it real quick. All right. Let's try dropping this again. Okay. I think we've got a decent idea here. I think that works. That definitely works for now. Let's try sketching out these harmonies we were talking about. So we've got the E major. And who knows? Maybe we'll switch that to E minor. We'll see. Then it was G major. So notice how this has a G sharp and a G in it. So this is tertiary harmony, all right? I haven't covered this in the harmony videos yet. Well, I've just dropped the first harmony video earlier today, so of course I haven't covered it yet. But this is a type of non-functional harmony. In fact, this is the type of harmony most frequently found in film scores, where the idea is the chords aren't chosen based off any functional role that they play in a key. In fact, lots of film music doesn't stick to a particular key. Instead, the chords are chosen focused mostly on their relationship to the previous ones based off of thirds. So a chord that is a minor third apart, or a chord that is a major third apart. Either one could be a minor triad, a major triad, a seventh chord, whatever it is. The chords are just separated by either a minor or major third. So that's what we're doing here. So then we did E major, G major, and the reason why I said that is because of that, since we're not sticking to any particular key, that's how you can see things that you normally wouldn't see, being two separate versions of the same note, a G sharp and a G natural. But then we said from a G sharp to G major to B minor, and then B minor to, we said, what was it, D minor, I believe. All right, let's listen to this. All right. So we've got the rhythm, we've got the groove, and that'll sound better once we've picked the right instruments, performed it, gotten the velocities right. Let's focus on the harmony now. All right, so let's try voice leading. These are all a third apart, which means common tone stays in the same voice. All other voices move by step. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so this moved by a third. Why does it have two notes in common? So E major. All right, where is? There we go. Let me see here. So we said E major, G major. That's right. That's right. So, I'm not thinking straight. Chords separated by a third have two common tones in common if they're in the same key. So G would normally be the second shared note, but they're not in the same key, so they don't have that. So moving by steps, let's see, we'll move this down. There we go. Let's see how that sounds. Don't like that. Maybe if we raise that last one to a major again. Much better. I like that a lot more. Let's move this down here, since this middle line has the most movement, and the top line should have plenty of movement. All right, let's see about that bass line we had. Let's copy that. Let's add it to this. Let's see how this actually sounds. Oops. No, we'll just take it that way. One more time. Okay, okay. Now let's see if we can come up with a decent melody here. All right, so let's see, what notes are we working with here, just so I know. We won't worry about any scales or anything like that. I know we had thought initially pentatonic or modal in nature. Our harmony is definitely non-functional, all right? It's tertiary movement. And eventually it will be implied, meaning that I don't think, at least in this initial rendition, that we're going to have an instrument or instruments performing these actual chords. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. That's a little inappropriate if we're trying to be entirely historically accurate, which of course historically accurate. We're talking about lizard people, all right? It's not going to be historically accurate. But if we want to be historically accurate, then the focus would be on trying to use more just focusing on the bass line and melody, maybe a counter melody. We'll see about that. We'll see what serves the music best. These, of course, are just ideas that we came up with. But for now, let's toss out the idea of being modal or pentatonic in nature and focus on... I know we'd said not be lyrical, but this whole mess of a rhythmic idea is pretty prominent. And so we're going to want to try and contrast that with something a bit lyrical. So we've got an E minor. I don't typically like to start each measure with the root of the chord. I like to pick something else that gives it a bit more identity. So let's say the G sharp. And then we'll pick a different note for each beat for now. So G sharp, let's say B, then G sharp, and then we'll say the G. So that was G. No, I'll allow it. I don't like to start with the root, but I love this minor action, this minor second action, so maybe that'll be more forgivable. But then we went up last time, so let's try going up again. And then we'll come back down to the G. So then B, D, F sharp. So, following along with the previous strategy of coming down a half step. Then we'll go, let's see. So it was B, so F, B, then we'll come up. Then we'll stick with the same note. No, we will not, because that's the root, and I don't want to do that twice. But that's so long down. Let's try the A for now. And then we'll say, okay, let's give this a quick listen. These are just randomly selected chordal tones. Okay, what are we gonna do? So, do I want this to be heroic or not? Because heroic melodies typically use lots of dotted rhythms, they use lots of triplets, and of course they use a lot of perfect intervals, perfect fifths and perfect fourths in particular. So let's see here. Let's see. Would this fit the characters? You know what? I don't know if they're ready to be heroic yet. We talked about the characters having trust issues. Loyalty is huge for them. Loyalty is huge for these characters, but they don't have many ideals outside of the very select few that they are loyal to. So this might be a kind of a situation like when Hans Zimmer talks about writing his theme for Batman in Chris Nolan's Batman trilogy, talking about how he wrote the big heroic theme for Batman and it just didn't fit because Batman wasn't ready for that theme yet. He wasn't exactly the quintessential hero that we were looking for. We'll see. I think that might be a similar point. At which point we also can make use of a minor seventh or major ninth intervals, because a minor seventh is two. It's a very dissonant sound, but it's two perfect fourth intervals stacked together. So C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brings us to F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brings us up to B flat. And that can be used. Major ninth can also be used. That's two perfect fifth intervals stacked. So C to G is a perfect fifth. G to D is a perfect fifth. That could work. We'll see. Let's listen to this again. Not liking that. You know what? That might work in terms of. Let's see. Let's hold this one out. All right. Let's see if that works. That, I think, sounds a bit better to me. C, F. Let's see. Try cutting this. Try that. A to D. So that's a perfect fourth. E. E flat would not work. Let's see. But a major seventh works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't. That was I lied. That was a major sixth. Screw it. I like it. So who cares if I'm trying to fit it into a template or strategy in my mind? Let's see how this sounds. Alright, it still sounds a bit too upbeat to me. Oh, look at that. We are coming up on an hour already. Let's see. Let's try shortening that. What if we brought this over here? Starts on beat 2. Alright, let's try muting this and actually singing a little bit. I like that as a strategy. So that's something actually I do quite a bit. If I'm scoring a scene and I'm really stuck on ideas, I'll watch it and I'll just improvise singing along to it. All right, I'll turn on my microphone, I'll watch it, I'll sing something along with it. Doesn't need to be pretty, doesn't need to be pitch perfect. But if I go back and I was like, ooh, I liked that idea, I can go back and listen to it and try and figure it out on keyboard. So, okay, okay. And of course I forgot to map. So let's say well, nope, just wanted this one. It was like so that's right, because it was following the original motif. So let's see. G, let's try an F. Let's listen to this real quick. Nope. So let's see. So an F would be an extension. An A would be an extension. So a C would be an extension. Alright, so we'd have G, then F as 7, A as 9, C as 11. So then E would be a 13. Let's try just F again real quick. No. Let's try sticking to quartal tones. All right. Let's try singing along again. So let's see. So this actually was over here, which allowed this step to work. So it was so let's try that. Yeah, let's try repeating that D instead of going down to B. Alright. It's something. Alright, don't know if we're going to stick with it. At this point, we've been doing this for just over an hour. So I think I'm going to call it here. Alright, so sorry if you were expecting a bit more. I think it works fairly well, though. For now, and who knows? It might be in the next video I just completely scrap this entire idea. But let's listen to this real quick. Alright. Don't judge too harshly, alright? This is a very early stages sketch. We'll see how it works. We'll stick with this. Who knows? Maybe in the next video, I'll try from scratch. I'll start with the opposite. I'll start focusing purely on the melody first, and then build from the rhythm there. We'll see. Actually, you know, I kind of like that idea. I think in the next video, we will do that. Next video, I am going to try, because I'll typically come up with 2, 3, like as many different sketches, as many different ideas as I think is useful. I think for like the piece that I wrote for the Ghibli template video, that one I think I sketched like 7 different thematic ideas before I came up at least with 10 different rhythmic ideas before I came up with the primary themes. But yeah, all right, it's a start. All right, and that's the important thing, is you always just gotta kind of go with it. All right, so I have no idea how long it's gonna take until we find the idea. Who knows? Maybe this is it, and it just needs to be prettied up a little bit. But we'll see. It's all part of the process, and that's the whole point of this series. Is I want to give you guys a front row seat to the entire thing. The more I do this, the more I start to realize why other YouTubers haven't done this. Because yeah, it's a lot of things. I imagine it's fun for me. It's also embarrassing for me because I know, no one wants to show their earliest sketches of a piece. All right, it just doesn't go with the whole a musician is a mastermind. He's brilliant and knows exactly what he's doing at all the times. But it's all right. I think this is important for you guys to see. All right, not every step of the process is going to sound perfect. Not all of it's going to be great. And part of me really wants to just stick with this original idea, just so I can show you that not every good idea is going to sound good the first time you arrange it. So we'll see. I don't know what we're going to do in the next episode, but whatever we're going to do, we're just going to follow my same natural process. So let's save it here. Let's see here. I'll say D&D character suite YouTube. I'll save that there. And yeah. All right, so thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support. Thank you to my amazing patrons, all of you wonderful people who subscribe to the channel. I hope this stuff is useful for you. I hope you're enjoying the Harmony series that I'm doing as well. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can comment in this video. You can comment in other videos. You can reach out to me on Instagram. You can shoot me an email at tabletopcomposer@gmail.com. I always love hearing from you guys. I love hearing what you're up to. I love listening to your music. So if you want to share it, by all means, please share it. And so yeah, with that, before I sneeze, yes, keep working hard, keep studying as always, keep writing new music. All right, have a good one. See ya. All right.